New week, new documenting the journey. Welcome back. Look at how fancy this setup looks. I'm out of the house and then everything looks fancy all of a sudden. Yeah. So on this channel, I document my journey, building my brand, exchange life. I go over all of the wins and the losses and the things that I'm thinking about. And basically, hopefully adding anything to your journey. So no video last week. I had to kind of settle in Dubai, and I lost my camera, or it got stolen, but I don't think things get stolen in Dubai. I got it in a taxi, and I left it there. And now I cannot kind of get a hold of this guy anymore. So I recorded a bunch of clips, but I did not get my camera back yet. So I'm just gonna do a sitting down one, kind of uncomfortable with it looking good. My videos are never really looking good, I guess. So let me get my notes here. This is the first week that I'm back out traveling and into the world and basically, just going out there again. So as you know, or if you followed my videos over the past weeks, over the past months actually, then you've seen that I have been in the Netherlands for a while. I've just been inside of the house, not really doing much, and was kind of in my head a lot, thinking about things and really getting back on the ground because, the year before that was very stressful, and I basically took that step back, reconsidered everything and thought about things and went all into the brand, if you've seen some of my previous videos. So it was time to go back out into the world, and I've really been enjoying it. So let's get into it this week. That's the win for this week as well. I'm reconnecting and enjoying. I'm really, getting back into it, being able to meet people, being able to hang out with people, being able to reconnect with a bunch of people. So I was really looking forward to that. I really needed that. I realized a lot over these past weeks how important it is to have the right people in your life, and that it is mainly about the people. So if you're chasing your mission, it is very important to also appreciate and let the people in your life know how much you appreciate them. And I've really been enjoying getting back to it, and with my new realizations and things that I had to share. So that has been great. A loss for this week is that my customer service kind of broke. So I had a customer service rep working with me. She just quit one day to the other. It happens. Or as well, we were getting more service requests than initially thought. So I needed someone to really work full time. So I last minute had to hire someone. I kind of messed up because I had no one to help me out for a few days, which caused us to fall behind on customer service, which caused many tickets to be open, which caused some bad reviews, but I managed to solve most of them and turn them into good reviews. So now new customer service rep is really helping out, and we caught up and we fixed it all. So it is, problems are there to be fixed. And when you solve the one problem, a new problem arises, which I've really been learning now. It's basically with everything. When you are thinking about something or somewhere, or you get there, then it is really, what is the next thing? Like if you hit a goal, it's like, what is the next thing? Or if you have fixed the problem, it's what is the next problem? So all of these things, it's just part of the game. So I fixed that. So that was the last for this week. Let's get into the updates about the brand. I'm working on some new product content. So basically there is different photo shoots that I'm using now on the website as content for the products, but not really any studio content yet. And if you look at jewelry brands or brands like this, you see a lot of consistent studio content across the product pages. And for me, it's kind of all over the place still. Some products also miss content. And I'm basically now creating all of the professional content to really level up the product pages. to increase the conversion rate. Of course, that's the end goal of the product content or the product pages. Make it more consistent throughout the different products, and also just making it look higher end and better quality. Winning ads, that was my first learning. I'll get into the next one right away. I need to call that out because I don't know if you guys see, I was watching here, but I should look in the lens, and here, down here is now the things that I wrote down. It looks way too professional. Anyways, winning ads do pick up spend if they are good. In Advantage Plus is a learning that I wrote down. So there's many discussions as well on Twitter that like you need a testing campaign. You cannot only run Advantage Plus. And I've noticed and learned now that yes, many creatives do not pick up spend, but some also do. Does this mean then that your other creatives, most of them don't pick up spend are bad creatives? I'm not sure, not necessarily, but I have learned that some do pick up spend if they are good and overtake winning ads. So it's just an interesting learning. Facebook probably also gets smarter and smarter. So I think soon you won't be able, or you won't have to have spending testing campaigns anymore. So that is an interesting learning. New customer service rep for the next point about the brand. Training them last minute. Learned me that it is important also to have your systems and processes documented, or your Loom videos or somewhere, because I basically, whenever I teach something to someone in my team, for example, or I send something out, I just make a video about it and send it in Slack. But then it kind of gets lost. So if next time I want someone quicker up and running, I'm gonna create like a database with the videos. So it's like customer service database and then operations, and so it's all well documented. So a new person can just pick up quickly and take over that role, because now I basically had to start from zero again, which is not ideal, but I did make it work. The next point is that still thinking of a way that I can show live previews. So if you look at my website, all of my products are personalized. So you can basically edit the products to your experience. So it's merchandise for people with 2 homes, broadly, right? So you can edit your own 2 homes on there. So right now there is no live previews. So we get a lot of requests also in our customer service, in our messages, like, can I see this and this? Can I see this and this? There has to be a way. We're living in 2023. I'm recording this on this fancy setup. There has to be a way for me to show live previews on the website. And previously how I did it is that you basically upload a whole library of the potential options. And based on what the customer picks, the image changes. But the problem here is that it takes a lot of loading speed. And also the previews are not accurate because we create the designs based on the input provided, based on what looks best. So we move things around. And if a customer picks, for example, one country and the other country, this doesn't mean that they're always set in the same position. And this is what happens when you do it the way I did it before, is that it just changes the image in that position exactly. But this does not show an accurate representation of the product that the customer will be receiving. So there has to be some other way. So I'm thinking about, how can I show this? Is there a way for me to show this? So yeah, kind of trying to find a developer or someone that can figure this out with me. I have a new shipping carrier, which I talked about before. Set up the fulfillment side of things really strongly now with a good ERP. All of these things I did not know about before, but our shipping times massively decreased. So I think almost by 40% with a new carrier. So that's really good. It's also helping a lot with lost shipments, because our system now checks the addresses before shipping it out, instead of we just shipping out everything and then packages failing to deliver because information was missing or stuff like this. So that is helping us out a lot. Really helps with customer satisfaction as well. And the good thing is that we are able to have some room with the shipping times because our products are all custom, but still ideally you'd want the customer to receive the item as quickly as possible. Next point is I'm slowly optimizing the Google ads. So I'm running some Google ads and I'm seeing that a lot of the spend is going to branded search. You can separate it from performance max, but if it works, I guess. And I think if you scale budgets, then at some point it cannot spend more on branded search, so then it will distribute more on other keywords, but they are less profitable, so maybe that takes more spend. That's why it might mainly spend on, but these are all assumptions. I'm not sure yet. I'm getting better at Facebook ads. I'm understanding them pretty well now, but Google is still all new for me, so I'm still learning as we go. Next point is that I'm noticing that often you only have to solve things once and then they're resolved forever. So this is basically, I don't know why I wrote this down exactly, but I was going over with someone about what they were doing, and I realized that if there is a problem, it is sometimes you just have to face it, and it is easy to like kind of push it off, right? But if you look at it and you set up a solution for the problem that you can repeat, you don't have to do it again. So it's really easy if you kind of confront a problem to solve it, not right now, but with a system or a process that can solve it forever. And that's why it's important to, for example, hire or to set up a process or to document with a video how to do this thing. Because then, for example, your VA can just solve this problem next time it occurs. Same thing with my shipping. For example, we encounter the same problems in our shipping daily. And I can keep putting this problem off, or I can make a video and see how I can solve it and then give it to the person that can do it on a daily basis and keep solving it. And then for me, the problem is solved right there. I have to solve it once. You just have to confront it. But with problems, it's often a problem because something is going wrong. And if it's unclear for me, you easily push it away and don't do it. But just confront it and solve it, and then you're done with it. Make a system process for it, and then it's done. Your problem is over. So that's one thing I wrote down. The next point of the brand is I'm wondering how big of a drop-off January will have. So as you know, we're in the gifting season now. People are really Christmas shopping and all of these things, which results in a boost of sales. So I'm wondering how the January drop-off will be, because I have had pretty heavy drop-off in the past. Now we've grown as a brand and there will still be year-over-year growth, but I'm just curious how much it will drop off. I will keep you guys updated on that. Also, of course, now maybe people often shop for Christmas, for example, but you have to be creative. So if the January drop-off will be, then I have to get creative of what other angles can I use for the products. How can I push it throughout the year and not just as a Christmas gift, for example? So I'm gonna need to get creative there, but we'll make it work. We'll always make it work. The next point is that I'm still slowly expanding the supply chain. I realized, and I met the CEO of Represent this week here in Dubai. I'll get more into that. But he also said it's better to grow slowly on the long term than to grow very fast on the short term, but also often as a result of the crash after. So for me, I have custom products, which is really hard to set up a supply chain for. Like, it's such a complicated process. So the thing is, you might be able to scale more, but you have to really control your impulses, because scaling more is not always better, because you might break the business, or, for example, have too many orders, get too many negative reviews, basically get into a negative spiral. So you have to be very careful that you grow at a pace that is sustainable. And I guess this is with everything, but it is especially relevant for me because the supply chain is so complicated and because it is like so important. For example, if you can do 200% more orders, but the quality drops with 200% or 100%, for example, is that still a trade-off worth making or not? This is very important for you to realize. For me, it isn't. So I need to grow more slowly for the long term and really control my impulses. So I'm still expanding my supply chain day by day. It's something we do something for every day, but it cannot just go like this. But that's fine. We're in here for the long term. Just like these videos, they'll get better video by video. I don't think they'll always look as nice as this, but yeah, you know what I mean. So then the next thing is, and it's more a general one as well, something I've been thinking a lot about these past few weeks, is that it's, okay, so goals. I've talked a lot about goals. What are goals? Are goals bullshit? I'm still not sure about this, but one of my main concerns for a very long time was to be free and to do whatever I wanted to do. And I always said that, you know, what do I need for that? Maybe 5 to 10K a month in profit for me. That is after investing back into the business and stuff like this. If I have that, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I don't do shit. I might I might get this fancy thing sometimes to make something better, or because I want to. But with 5 to 10K a month, I don't go to like fancy hotels or all of this shit. I can go wherever I want, do whatever I want, go out whenever, wherever, you know, all of these things. So like I said in the last video as well, I want to do whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, and with whoever I want. And I kind of now have reached that goal. So I can do what I feel like doing. And this has been like such a big thing on my mind for the past years. Like, this was my goal since dropping out. And I didn't drop out last year when I started documenting the journey. I dropped out about 2 or 3 years ago now. And I started my brand over 4 years ago now. So this has been on my mind for so long and has been such a big desire. For example, if you go back on my Twitter, there was no other way and no other thing that occupied my mind. I was obsessed, and in my head it was like an impossible thing to figure out. So I looked at the people that are young that did this as like, wow, how is that possible? What do they understand that I don't understand? And I went and figured these things out. But now that I'm actually there and doing that thing, I've realized that, you know, it isn't magic or it isn't impossible. People that are there or were there before me don't know like things that I don't know. I had the right mindset. The only thing is that I just needed to have some patience and take little steps every single day. And I was taking steps in the right direction, but even if you're not, if you just take the steps and keep stepping, even when you go in the wrong direction, you go back and you keep stepping, you will achieve what you want to achieve. You will get freedom, for example. But then you keep stepping and you get to freedom, and then what's next? What is the mission? Like, so now what? That's kind of what's been on my mind a lot. I need to expand the horizon. I need to like expand my view. I need to think about, you know, what's next. And I went to the pop-up of Represent here in Dubai a few days ago. George was there, George Heaton from Represent. It's for me a guy that is very interesting and that I look up to in ways. And he's older, he's 29 now. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, don't you ever feel like, so what now? And he's like, but bro, my goal is to get Represent to 1 billion. I'm like, yeah, that will occupy you for a bit. And then I thought about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, for example. Their goal is now is humanity. Like, because you just keep moving the post, for example, the goal post, or keep trying to do new things to find more meaning. Because if you hit freedom, for example, then what's next? And then, so it is important, I guess, to find different milestones for yourself, because if you hit freedom, which you will, then what are you going to do next? Of course, enjoy the freedom and do all of the, like, come on, I will massively enjoy it all, but I'm also someone that wants to keep improving and is now not just gonna quit or like, you know, just cruise. I will be way less stressed, but also I want to see now what's next, you know? Am I going to focus more maybe on the videos? Am I going to make them nicer? Do I want to increase my impact, for example, by expanding the videos? Or what is the next goal? Do I want to, for example, do something for my family? And like, you know, my own freedom is one thing, but what's next? And that's kind of what I've been thinking about now. It's new, it's kind of uncomfortable because I just had one thing to worry about for the past years. So it is interesting that your mind really moves on quickly. So that is just something that I've been thinking about and kind of been, toying with. What's next? What is my next goal and why? And what am I going to do and why? So this is just an ongoing thing, I guess, but something that I wanted to share. Lastly, try to look at your journey from the outside. It looks like a big mountain maybe to climb, but it's step by step. It might look overwhelming, but it isn't. I was sitting down with someone very important in my life and looking at what are you going to do and how are you going to get where you want to get. And if you are like down at the mountain and you look up, just like I just explained to you, I looked up and was like, wow, this is impossible. This is very, there must be something that I'm missing, or this looks very overwhelming because the mountain is so big. Imagine if you never climbed a mountain and you're at the feet of Mount Everest. It looks very hard and complicated. But try to look at it from a third person and kind of hover over yourself and the mountain and look at things and see, I just have to step there and there and there and there. And then I can get up that mountain, just little steps. And if you just look at your next step, where to step next, and if you just keep stepping, then you'll get on top of the mountain. So wherever it is you want to be, don't look at someone and be like, wow, they know way more than me. No, they have just been stepping longer than you have. And they started just like you. But because you take steps every day, you improve every day, and you get where you want. It's funny how it works. But don't be overwhelmed and just start stepping. So these are kind of like my thoughts about the brand this week. General thoughts, I wrote some more down. It's great to be reconnecting with people. A lot of people that I met in Bali throughout the year and throughout my journey. I've really realized that, it's for me not about one thing. It was kind of a realization, again, that I talked about last week. I was so worried about one thing throughout these past few years, but now I've achieved that one thing. I realized that, for example, I am not like Alex Hormozzi where, a billion, that's the only thing I care about. And of course, he cares about way more things. But I mean more like everything is kind of set towards that one thing. Me, I've realized that it's really about people and about many other things. And maybe the goal for me about what's next is to find something or find a mission that involves all of those. Because for me, for example, a monetary goal of money is just not that interesting. Does not really fit me. So yeah, it's funny how you learn these things. But yeah, I want it to be about many other things, not just about money. And I just really needed the first money, so from zero to freedom, because I was so desperate about that. But after, it's all extra, but it's not gonna add any more meaning or things like this. So yeah, gonna try and find out what that is, of course. I also wrote down that I'm finally really doing what I feel like and not having to worry with a back, thought in my mind like, oh, I can actually not pay for this. When I was in Dubai earlier this year, for example, I went to Affiliate World, and at that point, that was probably like a third of my net worth. And then even getting a taxi hurt me. And this is just something you have to go through, but it really feels good now that I can just get a taxi. It's really about the little things. That's why I've wanted to just be able to do whatever I want and make some money to do these things. And yeah, I realized that this is really the way I've been wanting to live for a while, but also realize that the mind is quick to be occupied with something else. I guess it's always, you know, something on your mind. It's never like, it's not like when you get to where you want to, that everything is then all of a sudden perfect. It does not work like that. It's not like you arrive and things change. Things are still the same, and life moves on. And so this is interesting, and this is a realization that you'll have probably at some point. Since being in Dubai, I've met some great people like George Heaton from Represent, which is someone I, like I said, really look up to. We also went for a run. They did a group run, which was really nice. Really early in the morning. I did not sleep a lot. I was very tired after, but I did put a new record down, which was, I think, 5:11 per kilometer for 5 kilometers. My previous record was 5:40, which also shows how big of an impact environment has, because I felt the 5:40 before that I was really pushing it, but now in a group it felt so much easier. So it's big. Your environment, I guess, in any way has many influences on you. But it's been great getting to pick his brain and meet new people here. And yeah, I really flourish in social environments. So, you know, being out here in the world is very good to progress. It was good to reset at home, but I also really like the, you know, new experiences and new things. And I really strive in something like this where I can like pick people's brains, and even sitting down at a cafe every day, I'm talking to someone new. And today I met a couple from Lebanon and was able to learn about them. And that's really what I like to do. And then the next point that I wrote down is take a moment every month or 2 weeks to really try and analyze your life from a third person view. It can help you realize a lot of things in the moment. Of course, maybe you journal, for example. I sometimes journal. But I wasn't being very critical journaling. It was more so like, this is how I feel now, this is what I'm doing. And I think it's a very good thing to take a moment, for example, every month, where you kind of like third person analyze everything that you're doing. Like, what would I think if my friend is doing this one thing, for example? This is what I'm going to do now to really catch things in the moment, what you are doing, being critical and realizing a lot of different things. The next thing that I wrote down is cherish people that have proved to be there for you and tell them how you feel. No matter how you feel or what you feel, just share it with people in the moment. It's very important. And the last thing that I wrote down is just do you, even if it's normal or strange, something I learned or something I guess I wanted to remind myself of. You'll attract the right people in your life and reflect others. So just do you. Like, it's so cliche, but I think it's so important. If you just act like yourself all the time, then some things might be strange or weird, but still do them. Like, who gives a shit? Like, if people appreciate you for you, then it will only be good. So this is something I did and I was really happy about in the past few weeks. So I wanted to share that. Just do you, even if it's not normal or strange. Yeah, this will help you attract the right people in your life. So basically, that's it for this week's Documenting the Journey. Just a lot of thoughts, and I wasn't here last week, so now I caught up, I think, with everything. Yeah. If you want to come along, I document my journey building my brand, Exchange Life, and a bit of my personal development and random thoughts that I'm having every week. And yeah, that's basically it for this week's Documenting the Journey. I hope you guys learned something or maybe realized anything. I'll be back next week. Thank you for watching and subscribe.